Apologies for the delay. I forgot to account for time dilation when escaping that multiversal prison from the previous video. To celebrate my escape, let's get weird. Welcome to Easy Aliens, a series where I've searched the internet for reports from governments, militaries, and civilians of extraterrestrial encounters and gathered information on their apparent biology, culture, and technology in the effort to create short, easy videos that summarize entire species. I do this so that, in the event of contact, you may have some idea about just what the heck is going on out there. Let's begin. The first entry for this new collection of rare species are a classic cryptid who have gained worldwide fame from thousands of reported sightings across the world over several decades. Bigfoot, also known by many other names including Sasquatch, Yowie, and Yeti, are an ape-like humanoid species claimed to exist on almost every continent. They can stand up to 10 feet tall, and their muscular bodies are covered in thick fur, which is usually brown, although other variants such as grey, red, black, and white have also been mentioned by witnesses. They apparently give off a strong, musky smell, perhaps for some purpose like attracting a mate, or perhaps they just don't wash, being forest-dwelling apes. Another of their reported ape-like qualities is their tendency to whoop and screech as a form of communication, with many hunters claiming to hear them in the night, filling the air with the sound of inhuman screams and banging logs. Some even say they've heard them speaking in an unknown language, like in the famous Sierra Samurai recording. By now, you may be thinking, this is Easy Aliens. Why is he talking about Bigfoot if it's just a secretive forest ape? Of course, you know better than that. Despite its animalistic qualities, if Bigfoot do exist, they are far more intelligent than we ever expected them to be. There are several UFO sighting reports dating back to the 1950s where Bigfoot, or Big Feet, were seen in or nearby the UFO itself, indicating they may be piloting some of them. Some people even believe they are a form of interdimensional traveler, stepping into our world through hidden portals in forests and caves. It should be noted that in many native beliefs of Bigfoot-like creatures, they are depicted as spiritual beings that can cross between worlds, rather than just simple animals. Perhaps some of these myths were inspired by something people really saw, as I'm sure retired Colonel General Anatoly Petrovich Sitnov, former armaments chief of the Russian Ministry of Defense, would agree. He was once quoted saying, "Kargat Arsenal, Novosibirsk region. A hairy representative of the otherworld comes into the guardhouse. The guards are all frozen. Pours himself water from the tank. He drank and left. Everyone rushed to the window to watch. He turned, waved his hand, and vanished. So we always say, where do they come from? I think that soon we will understand that there is a concept of collapsed time, parallel worlds, etc. Another hint of Bigfoot's potential alien origin is its biological similarity to the reported hairy dwarves, common in Venezuela during the 1950s. These beings were only around 3 feet tall, but had the same thick fur and brute strength as Bigfoot. Their skin was said to be tough enough to deflect a knife, and they piloted a luminous craft, indicating they weren't just some local monkeys who had found the booze and wanted to have a rumble in the jungle. Our next entry is another secretive species, one that some might say we'd be better off leaving alone. Among those saying that would be the Soviet divers who unfortunately had an eventful first contact with them back in 1982, deep in the waters of Lake Baikal in Siberia, Russia. The swimmers, as they are commonly known, are a humanoid species of unknown origin, standing between 9 to 10 feet tall. While not many specific details were given about their anatomy, they were said to wear skin-tight metallic bodysuits, which were described as shimmering silver, and transparent helmets which didn't appear to connect to any underwater breathing equipment. While the lack of breathing equipment could indicate they breathe underwater, the presence of the helmet hints that they may be using technology we don't currently understand. What we think of as just a helmet may in fact function as an advanced life support system, When the Russian divers approached the swimmers to capture one, an invisible force apparently caused the divers to rapidly rise to the lake's surface. As they couldn't decompress properly, the change in pressure gave them the bends. Of the 7 divers, 3 suffered painful deaths, and the other 4 escaped with life-changing injuries. This defensive behavior, paired with telekinesis or levitation technology, shows that they are not to be messed with, and may even be protecting something down there. Perhaps there is a secret alien base at the bottom of Lake Baikal, hiding incredible technology not ready for human hands. Speaking of incredible technology, let's move on to our next entry. The West Lothian drones, or sea mines, were a pair of metallic spheres deployed from a UFO in West Lothian, Scotland, in 1979. They were reported to be about 3 feet in diameter, with 6 metal tubes, or pipes, sticking out of them. They could roll on these pipes, allowing them to walk across the ground, but they also served other purposes. When a forestry worker, Robert Taylor, came near them, they used these pipes to grab onto him, tear his clothes, and drag him along the forest floor. He also claimed they could release a choking smell, which knocked him unconscious. While it isn't known if the drones were an example of extraterrestrial AI or a remote-controlled alien Swiss Army knife, they are still wanted by the West Lothian police for assault by person or persons unknown. Whatever they were, it's safe to assume they were mechanical rather than biological. In some cases, the line between the two gets blurred. Our next entry is one of these cases. All Colours Sam, the Sandown Clown, was an entity reported to appear to 2 children on the Isle of Wight in the UK in 1973. It stood around 7 feet tall, with long limbs that ended in 3 fingers and 3 toes. Its skin was paper white, and it wore tattered clothes. Sticking out from under its clothes were wooden slats, and on its pointed hat were wooden antennae. Hanging down its large, round head were strands of thin, reddish-brown hair, and its face seemed to be made of simple, coloured shapes, which never moved, even when it spoke. When it did speak, it tended to prefer using a microphone and speaker-like device, which could also produce a siren-like wailing noise. Or it would point at written words on paper, which is how it told the children its name. Instead of walking, All Colours Sam would hop around, bringing its knees up to its chest. It did this as it led the children back to its metal hut, which the children described as having something like dials all over the walls inside, with simple wooden furniture. It has been speculated that the odd appearance of the hut, the claim that nearby workers didn't seem to notice the entity, and even the entity's clown-like appearance, may indicate a kind of perception filter was active, making things appear in a way the children could understand. The metal hut with dials on the walls could have been the disguise for some sort of interstellar or interdimensional craft, and the 7-foot-tall clown could have been something else. Thankfully, despite its creepy appearance, All Colours Sam's conversations with the children revealed it was a friendly but shy being who feared humans and was quite content to live peacefully, eating berries and drinking water. It claimed there were others of its kind, with camps on the British mainland, but when the children asked it to clarify what its kind were, Sam's answers weren't very clear. It confirmed it wasn't human, but when asked if it was a ghost, it replied, "Well, not really, but I am in an odd sort of way," leading some to believe it may have been more of a metaphysical being than a physical one, a fairy-like machine elf so often claimed to exist in the astral plane by users of certain hallucinogenic drugs. There was definitely a physical aspect of All Colours Sam, however, as it needed to eat, and supposedly had a cool party trick where it could thrust its head forward and somehow move a berry between its ears, eyes, and mouth. Sweet trick, Sam! Please stay out of my nightmares. If you've seen my channel before, our final entry may come as no surprise. The Women in White are a faction of non-human intelligences, be they alien, angel, or something else, that take the form of human women wearing white clothes. They appear to humans and give prophetic warnings and religious teachings relevant to that human's belief system, perhaps as a way to guide the evolution of our species. Their faction uses 4 colors: black, red, yellow, and white as a symbol, which my research has found signs of in belief systems that never met, all over the world, throughout human history. I'll link to my 3-part series that explains in the description. The Women in White's tendency to associate with, or even transform into, bovine animals, cows, bulls, buffalo, bison, etc., may hint that their origins are from somewhere in the Taurus constellation, and they want us to figure that out. Or it may be more metaphorical in nature, as we suckle on their udders of knowledge. Either way, it also hints that they could be using hologram technology. An apparent witness to one of these bovine transformations, Chris Bledsoe, even claimed that the woman's bull form was see-through. If they are using holograms, then they probably don't actually look like human women and are hiding a mysterious true form, something they don't think we should see yet. Thanks for waiting for this video, and thanks for 1,000 subscribers. It means a lot to me that you enjoy my research, and you can expect more to come soon. Until then, thanks for watching.